Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We are back for another week. We're doing something we don't normally do. We're going to release a podcast on the same week that there is a major because we just happen to have enough people not going to the major that are on the podcast to actually do it. I'm going to attempt to edit this. So, one, if this never comes out, then you know who to blame. I mean, yes, you don't because you never saw this. But
That's true.
we could just have another lost episode in our hands. But two, if it's not up to the normal quality, well, it's because I don't have an editor. I'm just gonna figure it out. And it's a tier list episode, so woo. Okay, so besides that, Dan, we were just talking recently. You were decided not to go to our local pro tour that's happening. So what are you doing this week? How was your week?
100%. We'll see. We'll see.
How's your fab week?
Yeah, pretty good Fab week. Played less than usual, I'd say. I did help some teammates do a little last minute prep for the Pro Tour, so I got to play a couple of different decks there. Finally made it back out to Gilded Raven Games, so it was good to catch up with those guys and played a couple practice games, played Armory there. I revisited Ira to see if it's something I want to like move forward with, if I want to implement any of the new cards. Um, which is okay. I liked Ira a lot more in the past, but it was hard to switch from like Assassin, which has all these like broken majestic blues, to playing Ira, where you like need blues to support your turns because you want to play all these 2 costs, but then if your blues aren't blocking, they're converting to like 1 value typically, which is pretty sad. Um, but the deck's pretty good. Anyway, I had a great time. Playing a little casual right now, obviously, because I'm not going to Singapore. But yeah, there's a pro tour at home in the tri-state area this weekend that I might drive out for. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so not at the moment feeling the drive, but I might change my mind and be itching for a tournament. So we'll see.
Oh, I'm going 100%. I'm trying to bring as many people from my locals as I possibly can. It's in New York, PA. It's on Saturday. So you can look it up. It's been posted in a bunch of discords, but it's a 2.5K. I'm super excited because I wanted something to do. I just can't figure out what deck I'm playing. I want to play legitimately every deck, and I just keep cycling through them. Um, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to tier lists and stuff, where everything kind of
Yeah,
falls.
the top deck's really cool right now. I'm with
Yep.
you.
Um, Fino, how's your week been for Fab?
Pretty good. Been enjoying gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I say I had to. It's fine. But I judged the AGE this past weekend at Great Stories, and I actually really didn't want to judge, but it was one of those like someone needs to judge or this isn't going to happen. And I'm already qualified, or probably qualified for the like end of the year tournament that they do based on like the who has the most points type of thing. I was number 2 last I looked, so I was like, I'm probably not getting bumped out. I can afford to miss one, and James isn't qualified, so it's always one of us judging at Great Story. So I had to judge, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to play. I'm just having a ton of fun playing Gravy. Pretty sure I said this last week. This is just the most fun I've had playing Fab in quite a long time. The learning experience with Gravy is incredibly engaging. If you guys want to watch that, I'm also doing that on YouTube on my own channel.
Yeah, I watched. I watched some of your. I watched the whole thing actually, your whole stream. Like later, I was like, oh, I want to go like mess with some gravy stuff, and I'm gonna put this on as like something to like review. And it was like game one, turn zero. I like immediately typed in the Discord. I'm like, you and I should talk for like 30 minutes on just this turn because there's like I'm like, here's like a bunch of different ways I think you could play this turn, and then here's like matchup specific ways to play the turn, and then we had like other people jump in, and I'm like, that's why I love the deck. It's like literally turn zero, and we're like, here's all these other options of things that we can do. um
I actually just had a comment on it, like yesterday, I think. Someone also commenting on a different turn zero out of turn zero versus Valda that was pretty interesting, where I cracked my Mage Master boots pretty aggressively, and I just haven't even commented on that comment yet because I'm like, I need to sit down and just think about that turn zero for 30 minutes again because there's a lot of different ways that iteration could play out, but also a part of the stream is that I'm trying to teach people how to learn decks, and one of the things that I'm doing in my learning is I have heuristics that I'm working on for the deck of like I need to build these heuristics out for playing the deck, but I also have specific learning heuristics where I am just doing certain things while learning to put myself in spots to learn certain things. Like One of them is I'm just always cracking Mage Master boots. The first chance it at all looks reasonable, I'm just being mad ignorant with my Mage Master boots because I need to know when that's wrong. And I did that in that game. It looked bad, but I was like, this is somewhat reasonable. I need to know if this is wrong, and I still don't know if it was wrong. I think that's really interesting. So I got to sit down and like really dissect that game.
Yeah, that's the issue with Gravy is it is rather complicated to play, even if you think you know what you're doing. And it might end up being a deck where you have to play it that perfectly to get the results out of it, just because of the inherent variance issues that can happen with the deck. Like I'm talking about over the course of like a whole tournament. Like you have to be like that sharp to make up for, I think, some of the games that could go wrong. So I don't know. We'll get to it when we talk about Gravy on the tier list, but I agree with you. It's been very fun to play. I've been wanting to bring it.
It's so much fun.
I've been wanting to bring it to locals.
It's so much
but
fun.
Like half of my locals is Gravy right now. So every time I show up, there's like 4 to 6 Gravies, and I'm just like, I don't want to be another one of them. Let me play something else. I was just playing Vincent again every week. And again, I played another week with Vincent. I did some practice outside of it. Still like the deck. I think the deck's actually kind of good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. Pretty dumb.
There's another deck I want to play now. Damn.
Now, Connor, you actually did something in the game. You had an AGE event, right?
Yeah, so I got to play. Well, I didn't play an AGE this past weekend. I had some horsing around to do. But I played one a couple weeks ago and got to play my girl Dio, which was always fun. I got smushed on camera against a Puffin, which kind of felt like some mech on mech crime that I wasn't a fan of. But Dio is still great. Still a fun time to play. Always a good one. Its matchup into Gravy is pretty fun actually, because they can try to fatigue you or they can try to aggro you out, and you kind of have to pace out the game depending on how you think it's gonna, which path they're gonna go down, and you both kind of hit a spot where like the Gravy's like, all right, I can't try to aggro him out anymore. I have to try to like fatigue them, and then as the Dio player you have to set up. But then if they jam like a chum or something like that while you're trying to set up, it's just a nightmare. So the games are all trying to play out differently. And then also as classic Dio, you're like, oh, if I found a boom grenade that one turn, it would have been all over for him. But yeah, so that AGE was pretty cool. I like the AGE circuit a lot. It definitely is a cool regional thing that they're doing. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I keep wanting to go, and then I look at it, and it's like 5 hours away, and I'm like, it's not worth 5 hours. But
yeah,
I even
messaged.
I messaged my my local Discord, and I was like, does anyone want to ruin their Sunday and travel to this? And everyone's like, tempting, but no. I was like, well, if I can't get someone to drive with me, then I'm not going.
I will say it was pretty nice. The last 2 that I went to, the turnout was pretty good. They were like about 40-ish people, which was nice for just like random off-season tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I think people want to play the game. I think the meta is interesting enough that like it's fun to play. We'll be talking about that. But it's just like there's nothing to do if you're like just a US guy right now. And there hasn't been for a while because like we had our nationals like just shoved at the beginning of the season where no one knew what was going on. And then we've had nothing to do since then. And then if you're not going to Singapore, which most people in the US, even at the professional level, aren't going to Singapore that I've talked to be fair. Then like you still have nothing to do. So it's like everyone's just prepping for Kansas City next month. Is essentially like the next thing to do. So I think people are just hungry for tournaments at this point.
I will say this is like, I think one of my favorite FAB metagames of like quality of gameplay. This has been a very fun meta to play.
So far, I agree with you. I could see, I have some maybe possible qualms that could happen, but as of right now, I'm just enjoying playing the game. Like I just feel like I can take a good handful of decks and actually like play the game. Maybe it's not as strong as playing something else, right? There's definitely things I should be playing over, but like I could take Vincent and now I actually feel like I'm playing the game. I'm not just like, I don't just roll into certain decks that are just infinitely too powerful for me to play with.
Yeah, they mentioned it on they like literally posted it today to the dev talk, and they made a comment at one point talking about how there's like a specialist meta or like a time for specialists to come out and shine. And I think that's usually when FAB is at its best, when it's less about playing the gem roulette and just hoping things kind of line up right, and more just how good am I at the deck that I'm playing and really having that raw skill expression shine. Those are my favorite moments in FAB.
I mean, that's why Dan comes on every week and says Mario's the best deck, is because that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I think the big factor is like the the top meta decks don't really have these like super polarized matchups. Like Gravy's counters like Syndra, but like most Gravies think they beat Syndra anyway. So
It's playable.
it's mostly that. Like, sure, playable. That's fair. But there's
Yeah.
there's not this like 90-10 garbage where you just like go next with Kano.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot less of that. Okay, I guess without any further ado, let's just jump into working on the deck list. Okay, we're back. We have the tier list, not deck list, tier list. So we have our normal runaway style where we have a big don't play list at the bottom here. This is going to be for Singapore, so roughly like what you should bring to Singapore or how we're ranking the decks going into Singapore. Obviously, this could change if new tech comes out for next month. But our S tier is going to be the best overall decks, I think, to bring to a tournament like Singapore. A will typically be decks that are incredibly powerful, might have an issue, which is why it's not in the S tier. B, you're typically just looking at trying to hit some portion of the meta that you're targeting with like a B tier deck. It's probably going to have polarized matchups. The C might not need to exist. Sometimes we just don't have C's. They just all go into don't play. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But
Wait, but I thought
a
this
C
was the
would
high
just be-
C's.
And then don't play is obviously decks that we would never recommend someone bring realistically to a Pro Tour. Cool. So let's get started with probably the easiest one.
Azalea?
Azalea?
Don't
Not
play.
on here. Don't play Azalea. You might have thought you were going to play Azalea. You might have put it in your bag, got on the airplane, and traveled. But you can't play it. Just
It's such a joke, man. I'm not at all. fired
Connor,
up 'cause I'm not
how you
playing, by the
doing?
way, so-
How you
Also-
doing over there?
Oh, also Dash.
Couple weeks.
Bro, you just lost all your heroes.
I lost Azalea and Dash. Like those are the heroes I've
Welcome to
mostly
the
played.
club.
Like-
Welcome to the club of not having heroes that are legal for a long time.
It's so tragic. I'm so sad. I mean, I'll find a way. I'll be all right. But I just love these two heroes, and they're just gone forever now. And they're not even going to be good in LL either. So it's like, I just can't even. Don't get to relive the glory days, whatever. But
Unlucky.
Yep. Azalea gone. Besides that, let's start with
Dash.
Slippy.
Dash.
No, Slippy. So Slippy, I'm just gonna say it's S tier. I think it's like
It's like
one of the
undisputable,
best
right?
decks, undisputable best deck in the game. Stat wise, like you can't argue against its national run. If you've played against it, you know like this is one of the decks to beat going into Singapore, and it's one of the decks to beat for a reason. It's just like incredibly powerful, kind of simple to play in a lot of aspects. It's an aggro deck that beats other aggro decks, which is always where you want to be. And we'll talk more about matchup spread as it goes through, but like I don't have much bad things to say about Slippy in this current meta.
Yeah, it's
Who's
the
gone,
deck
so.
to beat while still being playable into Gravy somehow. Like Gravy's the
Yep.
deck to like be playable against, where I think Mario's the clear top of meta.
Agreed. Okay, let's power through some of these don't plays so that we can narrow the list down a little bit. Original Arachne, don't play. Betsy,
Yep.
don't play.
Don't play.
Bravo, don't play.
We could talk about Bravo at least.
Yep, we
You
can talk
usually
about how it's in
don't.
don't play.
You got what's the thing that breaks compass? You've got play into the ninjas. I don't think there's a reason to play Bravo over the other Guardians right now. That's the biggest thing.
Correct. I also would agree. IO is also don't play. Or IE is also don't play. Not IO. Because you can't. I'm trying to go through here.
Max.
get
What-
Max out of there.
What else?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get
where's
there.
Max?
Definitely
Max is don't play.
I've tried
Well,
so
I,
hard
uh,
too. Just can't find
New is
anything.
don't play. Olympias don't play.
Puffin.
No.
Huffin is
No.
don't play. Bolton is don't play. Teklavasins don't
But
play.
There's some Bolton believers out there though.
I'm sure they can believe whatever they want.
Balda.
Levias don't play. Valdas don't play.
Ethan's not with us anymore. We can
I think-
he's not
Maryland-
editing the cast, so we can put it in don't play.
Maryland's don't play.
Missouri.
I mean, I wouldn't
I don't
play
know.
Missouri either.
Like if
but it could
Slippy's
be.
this
It could be like
popular, like I don't know her matchup spreads that well, but like
What are you targeting with Azuri that you're not already targeting with Slippy?
Slippy.
you're targeting
So
Slippy.
you would just play Mario.
But it's worse than the Gravy. Yeah,
They're
this is
very
how I feel.
different.
Exactly.
I think
So
it's-
what are you targeting that's different?
This is worse.
I don't know. I don't really play Azuri.
Okay. Anything else that we haven't hit yet that we think just automatically should slam into the don't play?
I think there's a conversation
think-
for everything else.
I think Reinar should don't play pretty easily.
It's crazy
Yeah,
how many
everything
heroes
else,
are left, and we're all like, yeah, these are fine choices. There's like almost
I wouldn't
20.
go that
No,
far. I
hold
wouldn't go
on.
that far.
None of
Relax,
us said
relax.
fine
All
choices.
right, all right.
I said
Our
there's
fine
conversations
choices
to
for
be
us are
had.
like S tier in the first deck and A tier.
Yeah.
A conversation to be had could be talking them off the bridge. Like
Yeah.
there's a spectrum.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we still have Florian. Like, come on.
Oh wait, it's high seas. We talk them off the plank.
True. Okay. Let's just, since it's high seas, we want to talk about it. Let's just talk about Gravy and where we think Gravy should go into this meta.
S tier. I think he's
I really don't. I really don't think he's S tier. I
still
don't think he can be S tier.
I still think he's S tier. He does some of the most ignorant shit in the game right now. He feels like one of the only like old power level heroes like MST or whatever. Just like I just do degen shit. The power level of the shit he does is so high, but he's so difficult to play. But that shouldn't be a factor when we're talking about the Pro Tour. Like clearly, anyone that's bringing him and doing well has put in the work to get that edge out of him, and he's got the it's the illusionist thing. Like you can figure out how to solve a lot of these matchups. Nothing is truly cursed.
I mean, his own deck is kind of cursed. Like you can just have matches that are bad, and then you just run into Syndra, and you're like 30% to 40% at best into that matchup. You can say you make it playable, and
That
you
never
do.
stopped
You make
Dromai.
it playable,
That never stopped
But-
Dromai.
but it stopped Dromai from being S tier.
Didn't Dromai
That's
go
all
like
I'm
a full
saying.
year without winning anything?
I think Gravy is A tier. I think it's an incredibly powerful deck that has inherent current flaws in the meta. One being Syndra, and the other one being itself.
Dromai wasn't.
It
out
feels
the
like a
gates.
prism to me.
Dromai wasn't out the gates this strong.
I think for Singapore, Gravy is like A tier for sure for me. I think everyone's gonna be prepped on it. He's very targetable. Just put like a head jab in your deck.
I mean, we are expecting like Slippy to be highly played, and you're expecting Syndra to be played, and it's like, how many bad matchups are you allowed to play into all tournament?
Yeah, I think it'll be fully
just-
hostile towards Gravy.
It feels like an A to me.
S tier power though for sure.
S tier power, but it's just like some of the times in the past where like Prism was at like S tier power level, but like had a bad matchup that was bad, or also just had like itself dying to itself, or just dying to random people putting too many poppers in the deck. It's like kind of how I feel about Gravy right now.
I think it's S. You can put it in A if you want. I think it's S.
Yeah, I think it's a victim of its own success. I think making all the mass momentum decks actually good again, and like Syndra was unplayable for months, and then they printed this guy, and now she's like one of the best decks just because she targets Gravy so well.
Yeah, the
'Cause, like,
meta
one of the
exists
arguments
as
we're
it
gonna
does
have for a
because of
lot-
Gravy.
Like one of the arguments we're gonna have for a bunch of the S decks is going to be it's here because it's good into Gravy. If we're like picking decks because they're good into Gravy,
I don't think that's true.
that-
My other S tier deck is not necessarily good into Gravy.
Yeah, I think S tier is just its overall tournament viability power level is like how I look at an S tier. Like we can re-talk about what we mean by S tier, but S tier is like this has the highest chance of topping if you take this deck to a tournament. Like that's Slippy over what I think Gravy right now.
Yeah, I think they're in the same tier though. I mean, like you can kind of make the argument the other way too. Florian's like not unplayable, but Florian's really bad right now because he struggles into Gravy, and that kind of makes me think that okay, Gravy is like one of the most powerful decks in the format and is in that S tier.
Yeah, but the whole format warped around him, so now he's like not the most
Right.
powerful deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things to keep in mind with a tier list. There's how strong is it going into the meta based on what percentage of these decks are being played. So, like, if we're looking at Singapore, you have to assume there'll be a bunch of Syndra. Just because, like, even if Syndra, let's say Syndra's the most played deck, It might not be, but let's just say it is. That doesn't make it S tier just because it's the most played deck. Like, even if most people are bringing it, if there was a better deck than that and only 10 people in the room would bring it would still be S tier. So this is like completely outside of the realm of how many people are actually bringing this to the tournament. It's simply like how this deck matches up overall to the state of how we expect the tournament to be. So if Syndra is expected to be high population and Slippy's expected to be high population, and these are harder matchups for Gravy, like it makes Gravy a worse pick in my imagine for that tournament. In my mind, like it can't be an S tier. If Mario was like the most played deck, then Slippy would not be S tier in my mind, either. But it's just not. It's just not played at that level. We're not expecting it to be. We can argue about how this works because this is fun too. If anyone has a different opinion on how this,
I don't disagree with your
work.
premise. I think that his bad matchups aren't going to be a big enough meta share, and the bad matchups aren't such a big margin of how bad they are, of like percentage of your chance to win those matchups, that it should push him out of S. Like, he's got a couple not favored matchups. I would agree that like some of these matchups are pretty difficult, but it's not like it's general roulette. Oh, I paired into an illusionist as guardian. I guess I'll just shake their hand and walk away. It's like, no, you're still playing a real game. You're a little behind, but you still have a real shot to win those games, and then you take a poop on everything else.
I think my only holdup would be like, I don't think you can just like bring Gravy and bring like any decently optimized list and be S tier. I think like you have to be the right player on the right list to be S. Where like I think Mario, sorry, that was a intrusive thought. I think Slippy, you kind of can just have like a pretty somewhat optimized list and you're playing an S tier deck.
Yeah, I guess that's the other angle we can talk about.
I did say,
do we want to say
caveat
this is...
that I'm assuming the people playing Gravy are the ones that put in the time to really get that extra edge.
But we've been to infinite Pro Tours at this point. Half the people are bad. Like it's just how these things work. Like you just go to a tier 4 and then it's just like Gravy, that's just not how it is.
But isn't that a reason to play Gravy because you're playing Illusionist and you poop on bad players? You're just making my argument.
My argument is I don't think that works into Slippy and Syndra in the same way that it has worked at other matchups in the past.
Yeah, your deck also just
it's pretty hard to just outskill the Syndra in front of you. Like it's pretty hard to do that. They're asking you to like keep up with them in the first 3 rounds, and you can do that.
Yeah,
but you don't do that most of the time.
The lists have been trending to a deck building that allows them to do that more frequently.
I know that's the builds I play. You know, the swells and the tips and everything else. It's just go draw off gold, like as many attacks as I possibly can as quick as possible. But I mean, you're still behind. But I mean, I don't think anyone can say the matchup is better than 40%. Syndra.
So your worst matchup is 40%?
I think it can't be any better than 40%. Except how many of those 40% are you going to play at a tournament? I think it's pretty hard. Like it's still hard to bring it if you're going to be playing against that.
I mean, that's
and
another
you think
question.
Slippy is unfavored.
This meta, I think we're going to show over the course of this, is going to feel pretty diverse of like what you can actually bring. Mm-hmm. Do we think that there's going to be a massive representation of any one specific hero? I don't think we're going to have this like 30% representation of Slippy or something like that. I think it's going to be pretty diverse representations across the heroes.
I think Syndra Slippy combined should be around there.
So you face what, two 40%, and then everything else you're favored into?
Are you favored into everything else?
I think the meta is gonna be like 50% assassin / ninja aggro.
Oh,
that's a lot.
That's a hot take.
Easily.
That is a hot take.
Is it?
It's
between like Ira, Katsu.
Easily a hot take.
Arachnes. I don't understand. What else would be played? It's gonna be like 50% that, and then the other 50% is Verdance and Gravy Bones, right?
I mean, we'll put a pin in that and come back to that over the course of the next 2 hours.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm willing to move it if we.
Yeah, I wouldn't
down,
like.
As we
I wouldn't fight against him being an S tier. Surely,
Let's
he's
leave
for
him
sure
an
an
A.
S tier power deck.
Let's leave him an A, and reevaluate this as we fill out the rest of the tiers and have more of a conversation around that.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's fair.
I think we're all in agreement that the raw power level of the deck in a vacuum is S tier, right?
It's S plus. It's not just S. It's like S.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the
above
strongest-
Slippy.
But he
Yeah,
would be like my
that-
5th choice for this event personally.
But like raw in a vacuum, probably the strongest deck in the game, right?
Yes, without a doubt.
Maybe.
In a vacuum, Dan. We're not talking about in context of the metagame. Just like what the deck does as a fundamental.
Maybe. He's up there.
Okay, second best after Mario.
I wasn't even thinking Mario there, but sure.
Let's reevaluate, come back to this, and move on to what we keep talking about, Syndra.
Yeah, agreed.
Argue about Syndra
I'm so low on this deck.
a little.
I
I'm
would
so
put it
low
in,
on
like
this
C
deck as
tier,
well.
personally.
She's got an S plus attitude, as Lucas would say.
Yep.
I legitimately think this is a B tier deck. I think it fits what a B tier deck should be.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
fair.
a hard target into the meta, but you like it's really hard to bring this deck and do well as an individual. So what I mean by that is Syndra should have decent representation and have a okay showing at Pro Tour. Like that should happen. But as an individual to bring this deck is really difficult because you have to then beat other Syndras, which you have no edge in. You just don't have an edge in that matchup. And then you have to beat decks like Slippy that is better into you. And then you have to just hope that you hit like your Gravy and good matchups that you're trying to play into. And Florian fell off.
And Gravy's taking a down tick probably as well.
Yeah, probably. So it's like,
Yep.
It's hard to be the individual who brings Syndra and does well, but the collective group will find a way to push someone forward, right?
Agreed. Yeah,
Enough monkeys
and
with
for that-
typewriters.
Monkeys with typewriters. That is a perfect example for what this deck is. Agreed.
if you're willing to throw away
Uh,
your agency with this type of deck choice, I would rather play like Kano or Celio personally.
I'd just play Slippy.
I-
Like, I don't.
Well, you're choosing to have agency. I'm saying like if you're playing this like non-agency aggro deck.
I do think the Slippies are going to cannibalize a bit of the Syndra representation as well.
Agreed.
It's like, oh, Gravy's
Okay.
going down. Slippy seems good. Why am I playing this deck that doesn't give me any way to leverage my skill as a player? I'll just play this hero instead.
I agree. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
I think she's going to
Connor,
be played
what-
at an
We've
A.
always been Syndra haters. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's true. Connor, who do you want to pick next?
All right, give me Dio. Let's talk about Dio. I know you guys are gonna be mean to
Okay.
me, but I still think she's great.
No, I think she's pretty interesting right now.
She's
Agreed.
a little tough into Slippy. Slippy's a little tough, but everything else I feel pretty good into. Plus the deck is like, I build all these other aggro decks, and I work really hard. I have a sick power turn, and I deal like 18. And I'm like, man, my deck really worked really well, and I only did 18. And then I play Dio, and I get kind of unlucky and miss on half my boosts and don't find an item, and then I still deal like 30, like twice a game. And I just don't understand why this hero is so much better than everyone else. It's just her numbers are so huge when she pops off. And no other deck in the format really can keep up with that. But I am obviously the most biased Dio lover of all people in the world, so
I think it was pretty reasonable, like last week or the week before, where Slippy wasn't like having the breakout performance yet, or was like just starting to, where people hadn't picked up on that yet. Where you're getting to target like the other aggro decks like Syndra, because you're just going to win the aggro mirrors, and then you've got game into Gravy. Like that seemed like a pretty reasonable meta choice for that. But now, as we're talking, those two decks are going down in play rate, so maybe that hurts her a bit.
Dio feels like, again, like a B deck to me because you're targeting like all the stuff that's not Slippy Gravy is like essentially what you're trying to target. Dio is this weird deck to me because it like kills every rogue deck. Like every just random rogue deck is just like infinitely better than. Like, there's like a Dory player over here. Give it to me. There's a Fang player. Give them to me. Like, it doesn't matter who they are. If you're a Dory, you're happy. But then you look at like the meta decks and you're just like, I don't want to play those though. Like those decks, no thank you. Like they're still winnable and everything, but there's just like you actually have to play the game. So it feels like it's a B deck, and you can tell me if you think it's too high, but I think it's like a B deck, but it's targeting the opposite of Syndra. It's like on like the complete opposite end. of what it's targeting
By
meta-wise.
that you mean it's targeting the opposite of what Syndra targets?
Yes. Because Syndra's targeting like Gravy, like etc. Like Verdance, and then Florian is essentially a lot of the things that it's targeting. But Dio's targeting like Dory and Fang and Ira and warriors and like anyone else in the game that's like all the rest of them, like Acilios, everything else.
Yeah,
It's just like infinitely good into.
she's so powerful that if your deck is like just a fine deck, she just blows you out of the water power level wise. But the good decks are really disruptive, and so it's tough. Like the assassin matchups have always been a struggle for you.
Cool. Do you want to take a shot at Mario then, Dan?
Sure.
Where do you think this deck is?
Yeah, it really comes down a lot to meta representation, I think. I think it's a great time to be playing Mario if it's a deck you're specialized on. Like Slippy being the top deck is the actual most perfect deck to have up there. Fino was getting excited earlier about your worst matchup being 40%. I think for Mario, it's more like 45. He's kind of just like if you want a good spread against everything. Verdance is tough, but if it breaks your way, it's like not particularly close on your side. I don't know. He's an A or B. It really depends on how the meta breaks. Like Syndra's good, but it's not great. I think if you go second, it's very favored. If you go first, you're like maybe behind. I don't know where Gravy stands. I kind of think it's favored at this point to just being a skill matchup. I don't know. I think power level wise, he's in the top group of decks.
That kind of sounds A tier. I'm proud of your restraint, Dan, for not jamming S tier on Mario. But I think
He's not S tier. He's definitely not S tier. I mean, he's S tier for me. I would bring Mario personally, I think. Or
S tier in your heart.
No, not in my heart, just like in my brain too. Like I think I'd legitimately play Mario at this event.
I mean, I think Mario is probably A tier in my mind. Every time I play against this deck, it's just a hassle. It's so annoying to play.
Yeah, high roll
against
is like
this deck.
unbeatable. So you always have that out. I think he's.
I think
Or
having
they are A tier.
a super good matchup into Slippy, flipping against Syndra, and I think probably behind into Gravy is my opinion.
I don't know, man.
I think
the decks are built
that's like an A slot for me.
Do you not agree though that Gravies are now built to like require 3 or more card hands typically?
I think there's.
I feel like
starting
Assassin's
to
so punishing
slowly
to
try
that.
to solve that because Assassin's
Yeah, that
taking
makes
an uptick
sense.
in the meta. Like
Yeah.
before, when Assassin wasn't like the most represented thing in the meta, and like New was keeping a lot of them out and gatekeeping, that was different.
Right.
Now, okay, literally probably best deck in the game right now is Slippy. I kind of need to have that on my radar as deck building around that. Like it's not going to.
Yeah, if they start slamming like 90 reacts, I think the matchup gets a lot worse.
Or playing blues that let me play smaller hands that like I can actually block with the rest of my hand and just play the game and nickel and dime you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing into the Assassins. Just like I'm just gonna nickel and dime you and not ignorantly trade damage.
Fino, where do you feel about Mario personally?
I'd probably say AB. I agree with the. It depends on how the meta breaks. My gut says A though.
Verdance is really the deck that I'm concerned about as Mario.
Let's talk about that.
But if like Kano shows up big time, like I think Mario might be the best deck in format against. I mean Prism's there. Sorry, that was too extreme. He's the best non-Prism in format, I think, for that matchup.
Yeah, that's actually a question for me. How is Acilio and Prism from your POV?
Oh, as Mario?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Acilio, it's disruptive aggro versus combo. So like, I think it's usually pretty good. But if you don't disrupt them and they do the thing, you probably blow up. I don't know. I haven't really played it much. Theoretically, I'd much rather be on the Mario side.
Same thing with Prism then. Disruptive.
Prism, I've just like I don't think
combo.
I've lost a Prism game. Like I've lost one, and I probably played it like 12 to 15 times, and it's always just because the arc light comes out at the wrong time.
So you got like
But
game.
I'm
into
running-
the aggro
I'm running-
decks. You got game into the aggro decks, and then you beat the unfair decks.
Prism's entirely build dependent though. Like I'm running 60 reacts, 3 6s, and 3 7s. and that allows me to like, if they're like getting tempo, I can just block out until I find a pop and pivot. Like, I think Prism is like gravy. It's probably just a skill matchup. There really isn't much room for error, but you have the tools. So, like them starting at 32 is ridiculous. Like your whole game plan is to get your opponent to like 14 or less, and then you win as soon as you attack. So Prism starting at 32 is just like the nuts for you. If you draw like one pop, you just like are infinitely ahead. But if they have a timely arc light, then they steal it. So I don't know. I think it's like skill matchup, but I've been having a lot of success.
Yeah, to be fair, when I was practicing for nationals, I was bringing Prism, and I asked Dan to play me with Mario a bunch, and I don't think I took a game. It was just the same thing
I
every
was just
time.
learning
It'd be
the
like
matchup then too.
it'd be like pop 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 pop. He's like popper. I'm like, oh, I guess I lose on the spot. And I like learned enough things from the matchup that I just never dropped it to anyone other, like dropped that matchup into anyone other than Dan moving forward. But they don't have 7 poppers in their deck. So as soon as they just put 7 pop, I'm like, this matchup's so much easier when it's not Dan with a 7 popper every time.
Yeah.
And as soon as they put 7 poppers in, like, it's just like, it's so unwinnable. It's so annoying.
Really quick tip for Mario's against Prism. If you have the D-React, you should block the amount if you're not popping fully without the D-React in case they pump it. You can always arsenal the D-React. I've seen like people on stream not doing this. I'm just like, you're just getting blown out for no reason.
Yep. So I agree. I think the Mario matchup into Prism is Mario favored, as long as they actually have 7s. But that's my issue with Prism right now, period.
Yeah, I think with no 7s, it's like fine. I think with 7s, you're like, I feel way ahead.
Sure. You want to talk about Verdance next?
If only
Fino, that's what you brought up. No, he's Verdance pilled.
Dude, I need to play it more. I kind of feel like it's the best deck.
I think I said that in a recent cast that I thought Verdance was like the best good at the game deck. Like I perceive myself to be a good flesh and blood player, and I want to leverage my skill to get an advantage over my opponents. I should be playing this.
Life gain is insane in this meta, and so is damage prevention, and she has the most of both. So it's just like, and she's a wizard. She has Storm Striders,
and you got tools for almost everything in the game. Like Lucas always says, you have so many tools. It's just building your deck in such a way to be able to combat whatever you're targeting.
Yeah, she's my other S tier deck personally.
I also think this is an S tier deck. My only issue with the deck is its Syndra matchup is actually just bad. As much as the Verdance players want to cope, like it's not actually a good matchup. You just have to get lucky in order to win that matchup. Like, it's just kind of how it works. You got to find your fellings. You got to get turned on really quickly. You got to get Earths in the grave pretty quick. Like, so it depends on, I think, how the deck is formulated. But like, people just sleep on at least Verdance players like to sleep on how bad the Syndra matchup is actually.
I think you're sleeping on how bad Syndra is, though. Like, Verdance is pretty capable at stopping Masco momentum just by blocking 2 cards. And, like, you playing 2 cards is what you want to be doing anyway. So the games where Syndra, like, just draws, like, head jabs and a couple 4s, like, you're still winning.
Well, some
it's
of the
still on them
Syndras
to,
are
like,
playing
get to the
links now
7s.
for the Earth decks.
Yep, that's what I'd probably be looking to do. That's fair.
It's just you have to think about how many 2-drops or 2 costs that they have in their deck for Verdance, like 2 block. Sorry, how many 2 block cards that they have in their deck? They have in some of the matchups. It's very much like Verdance feels very draw order dependent.
I think it's on rails. Like, I get your point. I agree.
Yeah,
I just don't think that. I think the numbers. We should look at the numbers do say, but I would think the numbers say that Verdance is not bad there.
Having Mental Block plus Crown really helps that matchup.
Yeah, I think it's navigable. I think it's not good. Like, you really don't want to play it.
That being said, you're putting a deck in S tier and saying that your Syndra matchup is bad, and that was one of your arguments for Gravy.
But I don't think its Slippy matchup's bad. I think its Slippy matchup's actively good. I think everything else that we've put up so far is actively a good matchup.
Verdances are starting to claim that Mario is a bad matchup, which I like to hear. I think it's just annoying to play. Like, I don't want to play it as Mario, but like the games where Mario has tempo and they draw the good cards, Verdance actually just like can't play the game because of like the blocking issues and
I think my difference between like Gravy Syndra bad and Verdant's Syndra bad is like Gravy Syndra bad is like Gravy has no recourse in how the game plays out. Like when you're losing as Gravy, there isn't a way to win as Gravy because like that's just not how the deck functions. You need to hold hands in order to play the power cards, and they actively play into your strategy very well. Like Verdant's is just like I just need to see felling with Earths in my deck. Like that is how you win. You're just like felling with Earths, and then you just
Isn't
like
that
I
the
need to
same
do it
thing as
again.
saying I need to see conks with blues?
Yeah, but you also have to no block. Like you're just continually no blocking over and over again in order to function in that matchup. So and you only have like 3 rounds to do it. Like Verdant's has way more rounds to find it.
It's more than
So
3
like
rounds. It's more than 3 rounds because your allies are also gaining you health.
But if you don't get them
every
down in
time
those early rounds, right, they just get ignored.
every time I've played that matchup, the matchups actually go quite long. You end up stalling with allies, enough of them just like wasting time that the clock actually ends up being a relevant factor in the match. It's not like a 15-minute game where it's just like, oops, 3 turns is over, and you just get run over or they get run over. Like the games actually go pretty long. You usually see like all of your conks in the matchup. That has been.
I mean, I have
my
had
experience.
games like that. I have had games like that, to be fair.
That's my experience with the matchup.
My worry
is
if Syndra doesn't Arsenal, then what, like your conks just don't do anything. Where like Verdant's fellings are always good, right? Like, and they're
But
not
now they're
really
not
Arsenal.
arsenaling, so it's harder for them to mask.
I guess I don't know. They're a pretty good mask stack into you, right? They can mask most of the time off your different allies. I get what you're saying, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I've definitely had that happen as like the like mid-range player against Syndra, where like you have Arsenal disruption, they just don't Arsenal, and then you just ate all this damage, and you're like, what do I do now? Like, what's the plan?
Bro, I played 8 Go again. I was sick.
I was feeling this issue playing Syndra against Verdance, where like I don't want Arsenal because that's how they get value.
Right.
But then I'm not scaling my mask threat. So like, what am I doing?
Because I can actually fight against the mask if they're just playing 4-card hands. Like I can win that fight. When they play the 5-card hands, that's when I just put my hands up in the air and I just say, fuck it.
Dude, I kind of just want to play Providence and use my arsenal. That's my takeaway.
Yeah.
I don't think I would, but other decks should.
I don't know. If I have to play against Syndra, I'd rather be Verdance than Gravy, is how I feel right now. If I had to choose Gravy or Verdance, and I have to play against Syndra, which one do I want to be? I want to be Verdance.
I agree. Well, I think the Verdance appeal is like the assassin matchups are just very
good.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about like just because we were talking about comparing how those two play into the matchup, and I'm just like I'd still rather be the Verdance player than Gravy if I have to play Syndra. But I do agree with the rest of the matchup spread for Verdance is just pretty gross, depending on how you build it. You just like you can just win every match, and you could just win it in the middle of the game. Like it just doesn't. It's just like needs one felling turn or something to just like take a little momentum, and then you drop the next hand, and then you can just win. Or if they overextend,
sometimes just oops into like 14 arcane on one card.
Sometimes it's just like gain 7, deal 9, and you're like, what is this? What is this?
And it's all basically true damage.
Yeah, and then you have Ring of Roses. What a card.
Yeah, this
agreed.
The Verdance build is definitely with that bull ender feel, where they're just like, oh, I'm hanging out playing the game. Oh no, they Ice Veined me a bunch of times, so now I can never keep up or whatever. It's kind of like their Earth Disruption cards or their Aether Ice Veins.
We'll just keep it in S tier. Let's move on to something else. I want to talk about Vincent, so we can get this one out of the way. I think this is just like a B tier hero. It's doing the same thing. It's just trying to like counter a couple of decks or play in a way that people are unfamiliar with. It basically has like 3 strategies where it's going to try and play like a block out and play 1 card, which works pretty well into Slippy and some of the other matchups like Syndra and Slippy. It's going to try and play like a mid-range where it actually is playing the game back and forth. And then there is the third way, which is like just degen late game. I'm just going to put time snap potions out, do nothing for several rounds. Here's 25 damage, and then I'm going to do it again. And then there's not much you can do about that. That works into some matchups that are going to try and block you out. I'm currently playing a build that has all 3 modes like in the build. That's kind of what I've been doing. I'm seeing other people play it in other ways. It has matchups that it's good. The Gravy matchup is playable because of invert existence as well, which actually makes it so like it's not like an auto loss. It could actually just be like an auto win depending on like how the draw sequence goes, but it's not 100% reliable that you can do it that way. However, you are running Reaping Blade now so that you can clear the smaller guys on the back end that I've been seeing. Reaping Blade does help into Verdance as well, so you actually have game. You just have like a bunch of matchups that you just have game into stuff, but the issue is you're still Vincent, and sometimes you just draw things in a poor order, or you just like draw no attacks and like lose all your value in a turn. And so like because of that at a tournament, it just feels like you're not 80% into these matchups, and it feels like that's kind of where you need to be to offset some of the bad variance that happens with Vincent. And for that reason, I think it's B.
It's like,
But I think B is a
targeting the
massive
same-
improvement.
It's like targeting the same kind of. It's like the same thing as Dio, right? Where it's trying to target the Gravy Syndra, but those decks are taking a down tick also, which kind of hurts it.
Yeah, it's just that it happens to also have more, wide ranging play into other decks. Because its Slippy matchup is actually pretty decent. Like its Assassin matchups are pretty decent. Like it's able to do I block with cards, I throw one thing, but my one thing is like your whole turn. So that's like the actual style it wants to play.
That feels like if enough people played it, we could have the exact same thing happen that we were talking about with Syndra. We're just raw enough people play the deck that's going to push someone forward.
Yeah,
but it
I
probably
agree.
won't have the adoption to.
Yeah, I think we
actually
might
do that.
see Vincent top 8. I think it's possible.
And to be fair, it is possible there is a more consistent build out there, but it's very hard. You're always going to have you're always just going to lose matchups to variance with this hero. You're just going to have one of those matchups. So I agree. It is a snowball push one person forward. They do well type of deck. But I mean, that's a massive improvement than where it's at least. Like, I don't think I'm a fool. Like, you're actually not a fool to bring it. Like, that's a big deal in my mind for the deck. Cool. Anyone else want to bring something out? They really want to talk about?
Interesting to talk about.
Sure. Kasai?
It's like traditionally Warrior's pretty good into Assassin, right? So we were seeing a big Assassin uptick.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. The stats don't say that, but I kind of think the stats are wrong.
And
What's the logic
I
there?
found
It's just
the
like
great.
DBX
found-
then 2 card 9s.
Go ahead, Fino. We'll get into it.
I found Warrior to be difficult from the Gravy POV.
Mhm.
Like, it's damage. If I don't respect them, they get their on hits into my guys. If you're Dory, you get to farm the Dawnblade counters. If you're Kasai, it's just efficient, able to clear all your guys. So you just have to worry about both dying and getting fatigued at the same time, making it kind of difficult. And then they have the Fridge of Armor if you ever try getting through an on hit. So like your conks don't like actually buy you space. They're just like, oh, 6 conk, 8.
Agreed. I also think its Prism matchup is way better than it ever was in the past. It's actually pretty good right now. And to answer Dan's question, I think it should be good into Warrior. Like you only need you can play on 1 and 2 card hands quite often, and then actually like stuff things, and you have repeatable boots every round for the most part. Like it's been good against Assassin in the past, but the stats just don't line up with that, which I'm confused about. I'd have to put more time into Kasai and Warriors to like see in general, but like if you go to February, like its stats into Slippy is like relatively bad.
It's probably just like a power difference now. It feels like playing Ira, like
Yeah.
with a bunch of DBX. It's like you can get your good numbers, but when the assassin plays a codex and has one entire turn of value in one card, like I don't know how you match that.
Frailty's tough too. Just like a frailty token in general is such a bummer.
Oh,
for
true.
design.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Tough.
yeah, frailty's a big deal.
But they're not
Like-
on like ignorant frailty cards. It's just the codexes.
Yeah, but then they win that turn cycle by like 10 miles. And it's like, we've been playing like incremental back and forth, and they used to have to be like, all right.
Sure, but you also
You
got
can't
your
really
funny card. You got
attack
Blood in
and-
Her Hands and Raise an Army. Like, we both got funny cards here.
Yeah, but their find card really answers your blood on her hands really well, or whatever.
I think I'd have to put more time into Kasai to really see, like, figure it out, because it feels like if it's assassin matches were good, then it should be A tier. But the stats don't say that, because I know its Verdant's match is bad. So like, and its Gravy matchup is very playable, and its Prism matchup is very, very playable, and then it's actually pretty decent into a lot of the fringe stuff. It's worse into some really fringe things like your Acilios and your like Fangs and stuff. It's like they
They're good
play a
into
better
Syndra.
2-card hand. It should be decent into Syndra.
We're both
I
getting
agree as
+1
well.
value every round from Boots or Dagger, but you're just like never getting Mask. It's just like not happening.
Yep, I agree.
And I just
So-
start the game with like way more life than you.
To me, it feels like current knowledge. It's in B tier.
Previous
If
taking
the
it down tick also, and Verdant's is still up there.
agreed, if you can beat both of the assassins, I would move it to A tier.
I don't
Like if you
think
beat
can.
if you beat Syndra and the assassins, then I would put that in A tier 100%. That's just where my like old experience and the current stats just butt heads, and I don't know which one's correct.
I
currently.
think we're gonna see a Warrior in top 8 personally.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be fair.
It feels like
Deck is
Sleep
very
are really
consistent.
good right now.
And Kasai has finishers. Like it's not like the other decks. It's not like Hatchet Dory, right? Like it actually has real finishers in Blood on the Hands, and then also making Cell Swords. Like these are things you can do. Okay, let's talk about the other deck in my mind that I think is actually pretty good right now, which is Dawnblade Dory. Its stat wise is actually pretty high. Its ability to race the assassins and every aggro deck on top of beating Gravy means that, like, stat wise, this deck looks good. I've put no time into Dawnblade Dory, but from all the outset and the stats, it's actually like pretty impressive. If you're
In
willing
theory-
to play that style.
In theory, seems like it's got a place in the meta.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
think she lines up kind of well into a lot of these decks, like Gravy, obviously, and then I think she could line up well into Syndra too, because Syndra's just never going to deny Dawnblade counters.
Yep.
But my one fear though is like because of how much assassin there is, I think people will have a lot of D reacts, and like if you just play against like a random deck and they just have like 9 D reacts in their deck, it's tough life as Dawnblade Dory.
Yeah, on the assassin side, it just feels easy to reset between all your disruption and D-reacts the decks are currently playing.
Yeah,
But I haven't played
currently,
against a Dawnblade Dory in like 2 years, so I don't know.
yeah, currently all the stats show it's like 50% for into the assassins, and then it's just like favored into, you know, like Gravy and Syndra and a bunch of the other decks in the
You
meta.
definitely have to grain of salt Dory stats on Talishar, though.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
Like, people just not knowing how to play a reaction, just like not knowing all the different things. Twinning Blade, oh my god! It's just like that delta of understanding what's going on changes that so much. But again,
Yeah.
Warriors traditionally were pretty good into Assassin, and then everything else you've got real game into.
Agreed. If someone's told me they were bringing Dawnblade Dory to Singapore, I would not tell them no. I'd be like, you put the work in? They'd be like, yeah, I think it's good at this. You're willing to flip coins? I'm willing to flip some coins in these matchups. Yeah, go ahead. Like, I actually,
Yeah, I believe there could be something there for Dory. I think it's important to call out though, like Warrior was good into Assassin when Assassin was Azuri and like maybe new, right? Like this wasn't Arachne Assassin when Warrior was good. Like this is a much more aggressive style of Assassin than we had in the past, right? It's not the same. Like Assassin doesn't need to block to get value now, right? If we can use our hand every turn, it's just like best decks in format probably.
agreed. Fino, did you have a comment there?
No, I just saw all the microphone things flashing on the side, and I thought you stopped the recording. I was like, oh, stop talking. I was like, not again.
Not again. Oh, we've had a great recording for my editing. this episode. So you guys probably saw it. It's probably all stitched together. You know, we'll Frankenstein it. It'll be great. Cool. Let's go to the other warrior then. I think we're just gonna put Dorian B. But if someone like did the work and they were a specialist and they were like, it's actually A, I could see it in a world
Like
where
if
that could
Josh
exist.
Lau top aided with Dory, I would not have batted an eye at that. I'd have been like, makes sense.
Yep. Agreed.
Look at
I'd
his
still be
thing
surprised.
afterwards. Look
But I
at
would
his thing
believe it.
afterwards of like what decks did he play against? Oh yeah, he didn't face any funny decks that he just like auto loses to. This makes sense.
Something else that I think is probably in that realm is just Feng as well. This actually might be our first C tier deck,
I think it's C tier.
to be honest. I
don't know why we miss C tier. I think it's don't play.
Give me a reason to play Fang.
Agreed.
So the reason to play Feng is that if it gets turned on early enough, it basically beats every deck in the game.
So you're trying to high roll? That's
Yes.
the plan. Just
It
like
is
Kingo. Or
it's a
Revenge
high-
deck or Celio.
It's like a high roll deck that sometimes gets away with not having to have it right at the beginning because it can block. If you haven't played against Feng a bunch, like the second it gets turned on, this is the best. This is like arguably the best deck in the game. There's almost no argument about it. Like, it's just the best deck in the game with turned on.
This just sounds like don't play.
Depending on their health total.
No, I'm talking about just the deck's power level once its ability is
Yeah.
turned on. It is just the best deck in the game.
Well, and
Is there
it's
a
a lot more
reason to play this?
redundant than like a Cilio.
Yeah, but
you know
the
what I
way
mean?
they get there is by pitching reds to attack for one. Like,
Is there a reason to play this other than you're him and get 3 fealty turn 1 every game?
Turn 2, turn 3 doesn't need to be turn
I think the
0,
meta's too
but
fast. Like,
I'm being
the
reductive.
entire meta has warped to be as aggressive as possible, right?
It's supposed to have a decent gravy matchup, to be fair. Its Verdant's matchup, I think, is really bad because of Scour. Its Assassin's matchup is just kind of go, but this Fang deck typically runs a lot of D-reacts as well. I don't think its Syndra deck. The Syndra matchup is like who
Bang
does
also
the
has
thing
the
first.
D-react issue, though, right?
Um,
Like, being a D-react heavy meta means it takes longer to get your fealty,
so
which is a big problem.
anytime the meta, so how I like to think of Fang is anytime the meta has decks that in it that want to just play 2-card hands, this is the best 2-card hand deck in the game. No other deck can beat it in 2-card hand math.
So maybe Verdance.
It's pretty pretty
Gravy?
close. No, like this deck is just block and swing with 2 cards is just infinitely better because 1 card never has to be a resource card. It's just like they're both just damage cards off the 2 cards. It's just like anytime you have decks that want to like try and be a block deck and swing deck, like a mid-range, what we consider a mid-range deck, whether it exists or not in the game is a different argument. This is the best version of that.
That sounds like the opposite of the current meta.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know like how
Okay,
how Fang is powerful. Like
Yeah.
this is when you'd want to do it. It's just Fang has been showing up and doing some things into people. I don't think you should play it right now, but
I just haven't heard a reason to actually bring this to the Pro Tour.
I wouldn't. It'll show up.
it's a pretty classic. Like
It'll show
this
up in the
deck is
don't play.
powerful. This deck is powerful. It's fine. Also, I couldn't tell you a single good matchup it has.
Yeah.
And then another deck that lives by that same credence is my boy KO. KO does the same thing. You're like, these numbers are sick. I feel so like I'm doing something just fine every turn, and then you're like, oh, my opponent's deck is really good. This is hard now. Like, I think he's just kind of too steady. So I think that him and Fang are either C or don't play, depending on how.
KO should be so much better. I agree with you. KO
C-
KO
C
looks
legs,
like it's
Yeah.
good.
Sea Legs is a messed up card. That card changes like everything for that deck. Except for the deck is
doesn't.
still just fine.
Agreed.
I love playing it though. It's super fun.
I think KO's a real C tier deck, though. Like,
yeah.
you can play him, and if you draw all your blood rushes and you have a little good variance, like, you can win your games.
I think the main thing too is like if your random 2-for-6s you're playing, like your Erase Face or whatever random 2-for-6 disruption, if they're good in like into the matchups you play against, your deck feels awesome. But if
What do you mean
they're
good
just
into?
random crappers, like your deck just kind of sucks or whatever.
What are you here to beat?
You're
We're
not
just trying
beating
to roll
nothing.
scabs, man. We're just
We're
here to-
beating everything 51% of the time.
here to
That's our
roll.
plan.
Bro, if we're putting Fang in don't play because you
No,
have to turn on field teas,
KO has to be a don't play. I
If
don't
your
know why
plan
there's a
is,
C
like-
tier. C tier is not a real tier.
like if you're
It's gone.
If your argument for C tier is scabs, then there's no way he's not don't play because
No, it's
of
not
Fang
scabs. You
assault.
just like play KO and you win.
Yeah.
I don't know,
None
See-
of your
45%
games.
of the time.
C tier is like technically this deck is better than the rest of the don't play decks. Like that's what a C tier would mean, but we don't need to do that. So we're just gonna put it in the don't play.
That's fair. He's the I like brute tier.
Got it. Okay. Answer the age old question. Why Fi bad?
Yeah, it was nice of us to leave him in out of don't play for this long. I appreciate
Put some
that.
respect on his name.
So Fi is very good at shortening the game. This is why Fi is good. He's probably the best pouncing links wielder. Maybe Syndra lists have become better, but I don't think so. If there isn't too much graveyard disruption, and your goal is to make every game a 3-turn game, and that's favorable, then Fi is pretty good. I don't know. The whole meta right now is like disruption and decks that block really well and go long. I mean, I wouldn't play Fi. Just play Syndra.
So don't play.
Yeah. If we made fun of Syndra for being all head jabs, Fi is like extra all head jabs. That's all it really is.
Fi's probably a lot better against Verdants.
Mhm.
I would expect. But if Syndra's playing pouncing links too, then it's probably close enough.
Is there any reason
Okay.
to play Katsu?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, there is. Well, when we get to Katsu, we can get to Katsu. I gotta ruminate on time about that one a little bit more. Florian. I think Florian has gone full circle. He went from no. Hold on.
What?
He's-
Let
he's
me-
just
let me
starting-
take-
he's
I'll let you
starting the
land.
circle.
I'll let you
I've
land.
started.
Start of the
Let
circle.
me lay. Let me cook. Let me cook. He started in. He was an S at one point this year, right? He was at S, and then he was in don't play, and now he's literally in B tier trying to farm certain decks. Like he's like an anti meta pick now instead of the meta. He went from the meta to don't play to anti meta.
We're so bad.
He's the funny guy.
Go check out Noah's Metafy article for the Pro Tour.
No, he's like trying to farm the assassins, and then like maybe he can get away if the gravies get too greedy, cut like all their stuff and just go attacks. Then like he might be able to get there.
Are you going to do the Warriors?
I would think so.
No.
Oh, really?
Why?
I feel like Florian's endgame is like generally more powerful and like more consistent or whatever.
I think Dory might be good, but
Okay, hold on. I gotta go back. Is it good into the Warriors? It is if you're playing like in my mind CMHs and stuff and the big attacks. One of those is probably good. So I think I misspoke. I was thinking about some of the other versions that I didn't like as much, but that's not the versions that are being played. This is if you're playing Florian, you have CMHs, you have go again attacks, you have things in your deck, you have big attacks to switch in and out. I think the Warrior matchup's fine. With that said, I still think Kasai can play the game into you.
So
Because
we're playing the game. We're doing this.
Yeah,
thing.
we're playing the game. Yeah, we're playing
It's
the
a
game.
real game.
Yeah, you should be favored when you actually, have the CMH style, I think.
So you're like a little behind into Verdance?
You're a lot behind in Verdance. The Verdance players got better, so that became an issue. You're a lot behind into Verdance. You're a lot behind into Syndra because of the new dagger. The new dagger blocks way too much health, becomes an issue.
A lot behind into Gravy.
You're a lot behind into Gravy as well. And then, like, your Warriors are playable, favored. You're favored into a lot of the junk in the game.
Azalea also left, which is a big deal.
Azalea left, which is a big deal. You're favored into the two assassins. So yeah, you're just anti-meta now.
And people, I mean, there's always some chucklehead always playing these, but I feel like Kano isn't like a big part of the meta right now. So it's like maybe Azalea's you got to watch out for, but I can't imagine it's got a big meta share there.
No.
I'm not convinced on that one.
Acilio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that crazy?
We'll get to it when we get to it. I
Whether or
guess.
not that it's a good deck right now, I actually think that like it's pretty reasonable right now. I don't think that I'm gonna look at the meta spread thing on like what Friday Saturday and be like, yes, Acilio top third deck in the game. That was expected. Like that's not a deck that a lot of people play.
Yeah.
So if I'm
It's a
playing
lot. The deck a
Florian,
lot of people should have played if they're prepping for a Pro Tour, though. No.
I'm just like if I'm playing Florian, I'm expecting to play 0-1 Acilios.
Sure.
Yep. I think that's accurate.
Acilia's a tough one because he's like so powerful, but he just doesn't have that redundancy. I'm gonna hit you with the Noah argument. Are you gonna fly to Singapore to play Acilio?
Yes.
Just
a lot of
really
players.
Just
People are gonna
really
do it.
hope your Dawn and Flashes show up at the right time.
Dude, you don't
Oh,
even
Wizard-
need them. You just combo
Bro,
fast.
Wizard players show up to these events to 03 the draft. The like that was there's no concern about rolling dice in the CC portion. That was not where they were gonna die.
Hey, they've gotten better. They're winning drafts.
They're learning.
Yeah, I think Florian looks pretty good though. If you believe in good gem luck.
We're so back.
Florian's the
Well,
Some
classic.
crazy people will play him.
maybe.
No, I mean, I could see a Florian like do well. Like they play
Mhm.
a handful of assassins, they play a couple like warriors, they play like one of their bad matchups and spike it, and then they just have to draft, and then they're just
Yep.
there, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they had two losses in CC, and then they played everything else that they're fine into, and now they're in top. Like
Yeah,
these,
it's very comfortable to play too. Like the game plan's very linear, like not linear, but it's very straightforward.
Yep.
But you're gonna beat the assassins.
I mean,
almost
Pro
every
Tour
time.
is all about draft. Like CC like isn't real. Your deck just has to be good enough to get there, and just that's what you're hoping for. But you can't top without doing super well in draft. That's just how the tournament structure is. Okay, Florian B, I agree. Good anti-meta deck.
I think it's
Should we talk about Acilio since we were just talking about that, or
Yeah. Let's just go into Acilio. You guys have thoughts on Acilio? You tell me.
Give me
he's the
B
best
tier.
Aurora deck since Aurora
the deck is
isn't
just
legal.
crazy.
It can be. It's terrible into assassins. IMO.
Yeah.
I think
It's Dio. It's the Dio deck. It's the same thing.
It's terrible into Vincent. I found
I
out because I have Cull and Succum, and they just never get to play a full grip. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it should be B, but how this is shaped up, it feels like a don't play just because of like what's at the top of the meta. It just what are you actually trying to sit across from? Not a lot of these things.
You're not trying to sit across from anybody. You're trying to have Dawn and a Flash in 4 instants in your hand, and you don't care what they
Yeah, you
are
just
playing.
don't care. Yeah, I don't know how to actually place it. I haven't played enough, but from what
I
I've
think
witnessed,
B
it's,
made sense.
Yeah, I'll probably B.
I don't think
This
I
is
can
the exact-
justify it higher.
I could be sold on an A tier.
Like this.
I
is
think
the
this
exact
when
kind
we're
of
talking
deck
about
I
most
love,
powerful
though.
decks, this is like S potentially.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the other. It's like him, Gravy. I say him. I don't know what gender.
I think it's a Celio and Kano,
Acilio is.
and then
It-
there's like a big
it
gap.
And Prism are like the 3 unfair decks of the game. I guess Dash IO.
Okay, I really think B tier is going to be pretty large once we get there. Okay, let's talk about Ira.
The Last Assassin.
Ira is decent. Like, I don't know. This deck is a good deck. Like, it's just a numbers deck that, like, if things line up well and you don't draw the all blue hand, then you're cooking, because like you're just swinging a dagger and then playing a 2 for 7 with an on hit that like tells your opponent to skip their turn.
The deck is overwhelmingly unimpressive, but it's good. If that makes sense. Like the numbers are just good. It's got some relevant disruption. I have concerns over its like consistency. Like you need to play all these blues. Your blues are terrible. Your game plan is to like present this like big disruption card for like 10, and logically, if you do that, your opponent might block and then not attack you, and your deck is hard to build in a way that is good in the meta, but also can consistently convert. went left with 4 or 5 cards.
It
Feels
kind of
like
feels
old
like
assassin
Florian
design.
adjacent. Yeah, it feels
Mhm.
kind of like Florian adjacent to me, where it's like turn to turn, your numbers are good, you kind of end up in a good spot. But then, what's nice about Ira is you're a bit better to gravy than Florian is, just naturally.
Yeah, I found the deck is like so rare to like have those like high rolls where you just take your opponent's agency out of the game. Just like not built to do that.
Yeah, you're definitely trying to play a game of Flesh and Blood with Ira.
So
Yeah.
there's a couple of things I think about Ira that are relevant here. They do have some big turns with like the retrieve ability and then like dual threat to like have big turns. That does happen. The deck is pretty consistent as well. It has a lot of on hits that are good. It has D reacts. It just has all the good numbers. It does have mask, so it is like relevant into your opponent having to block sometimes. It just doesn't use mask super well.
Really
Its
doesn't.
matchup spread is rather impressive of a deck if you just want to play 55% into everything, which is like kind of what the deck does. It doesn't overwhelmingly destroy decks, which is kind of the issue where you can get variance out of the game is kind of
Yeah,
how
every game is
it
so tight.
feels. But it's just like if you want to play 55% into everything, then that's kind of how the deck feels. Now there could be some versions out there that kind of fix some of these numbers. I could see its main issue though is it's a deck where its blue cards suck, and it's been a while since we've seen decks where their blue cards actually suck that much. Also, its assassin matchup isn't good enough. It just isn't good enough. Like
I don't
it's
even
like
think the
it's
gravy matchup is good enough.
I think the gravy matchup's pretty decent. But I think the assassin matchup's rather hard, and the verdance matchup is rather hard. Sometimes it's just like everything's just 55%. You're just like pretty split the board, but it's a good matchup spread.
Yeah, I think she might be A tier. I would not personally play this deck because I can't get past the blue quality.
I mean, you saying that it was bad into assassin verdance and not like that great
It's
into
just
gravy just sounds like don't play.
It's just flipping coins. No, you can't say it's bad. If it's just like 50% in all those decks, that's a reasonable deck to bring. Like
Is it bad into those decks or is it reasonable into those decks?
I
Which
said,
is
it's not good. I said it's not good enough into those matchups. It's like 50%.
I think verdance is much lower. Verdance, I think, is actually just like draw dual threat or go home.
I also think verdance has. It depends on the verdance build as well.
Sure.
But the
Speaking of
assassin
verdance, have
matchups
we-
are just the same. The issue with the assassin matchup is that your 2-for-6s don't have text.
Anything from the armory deck change any of this stuff?
Not really.
Yeah, that was kind of my
This is a completely
impression
different
also.
build if you go that way.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
you're playing Katsu with that stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe
I
there's
think
another
it's a-
build that doesn't.
I do think there's an interesting thing with the new mast or whatever that tutors up Royal Mist Blossom. And you just have a million combat tricks and just keep trying to push through and draw 2 cards, whatever. But
I do like pot
They-
greed.
then you don't get to play your dual threat's not as good, and that's like the best Ira card by a lot.
the
is dual
new-
threat.
Sorry, Connor. The new
go ahead.
Command and Conquer-esque combo
Yeah.
card is a big deal
But-
for Assassin because this is a
yeah,
relevant 2-coster. And
those
like
are
CNC's
Katsu
really
cards.
good against the Arachnes.
Yeah, but that's a Katsu card.
I'm saying if I was built that way, maybe it is better for this meta because you improve your Assassin matchup.
I don't know. That feels hard to me. I don't know. I think it's a
I don't
B
think so
tier.
either, but
If it could be, it could be A tier strictly by the numbers, but we would see. If I see an Ira top 8, I'm not going to be that surprised. They're just gonna like they just had like not bad variance games. Like that's just how it feels when I play it. I can't. It's hard for me to personally play it. Again, just from my Enigma issue from the
I
last
was
Pro
gonna
Tour.
say this sounds like the refractor deck of this meta of like
If it
You're just
very
like-
much feels like the refractor deck.
it's just like okay numbers kind of playing a fair game.
it's
It
good
depends on the-
numbers to be clear. It's not okay numbers. It's very good numbers, but it's
It's
like
good numbers.
you need to realize these numbers. You need to be able to block with your cards to get these numbers, and sometimes you're not allowed to. And then you're bad numbers.
Just like refractor.
It's been extra good recently because people haven't been running D-reacts as much. So like your 2-for-7s just get in and they just like shut the opponent down. It's like a big deal. But if people start running more D-reacts because Slippy's more popular and they have to run them into the assassins, then I think like you also get hit by that as the Ira player. That'd be my worry. But when people were not running D-Reacts, this Ira deck was just like, the 2-for-7s were just dumpstering people. Okay. Next, Jarl.
You kept talking about Katsu. Do you want to talk about him now?
Yeah, we can talk about Katsu. I think this deck is a monster. I think this deck is an absolute monster with the new Edge of Autumn, the extra cards. It's not solved, but if you told me that this is an A or S tier deck, I would not bat an eye. This deck is crazy to run. You run Edge of Autumn. You can run different blues now if you want. You kind of don't end up because your blues are already pretty good. But this is like a ninja that has blues that you actually kind of want to cast, like Retrace and everything else. Like, so you have good blues in your deck, which is pretty cool. But Edge of Autumn just gives you like an additional go again. It gives you the repeatable arms. You can even retrace for Edge of Autumn and then use that with your arms to get the +1. It now gives you a 2-for-6 Vengeance ability that is a CNC. So now you get to run CNC without it actually messing up your combo because it is a combo. The deck only runs like 9 to 12 at most non-combo cards in the deck. So like Harmony hits nearly 100% of the time now. It's just draw a card +1 on everything. So like the deck is very strong, like very, very good. And it's incredibly hard to play. It is less about your opponent like stopping you from hitting than as often. It's just a lot harder for them to do so with the new Edge of Autumn build. And then like you could run both masks. I don't think this deck is figured out, but just theory wise in playing the deck in the like current builds that we have, I think it's good. Again, if you can get off yellow Surging Strike and build a deck that doesn't have that card in it, I think your deck is infinitely stronger. But so far, I'm very impressed with this deck, and I think it's been like slept on.
I've not even considered it until now.
Yeah, I am aligned. Basically, we went from Ira, who's playing blues that are cost 0 and give you +1 on your dagger, to Ancestral Harmony. We all remember that card.
Yep.
Huge difference there.
It can dishonor people. It has stupid lines where even if your opponent knows what's happening, they now just have to hold their hand for the dishonor that they know is 100% coming or could be coming. So everything else in your chain just hits. It's like really stupid. You're like, oh no, they have a dishonored line. Okay, I guess I'll just sit here and take everything until the dishonor, and then they can choose not to go with that line at the end because you've been holding everything. It's just stupid. Like the amount of stuff Katsu can do is stupid. You could spend the whole game just like stopping Katsu from doing something, and then they break out and they deal 30 damage. And it's just like, okay, well now we're in this boat now. This is great. Some of its issues are draw dependency issues, 2 blocks. If it can get into the assassin trope where it can cause an issue. It can play off small hands now as well. So the assassin does have to block back, but those can be issues. In my opinion, I think it's an A-tier deck, honestly. I don't think I'd be very surprised if we see anyone. I just don't know if anyone's going to show up with it built, ready to go with it, or enough people will for it to put up results. But it feels
I think
A-tier.
we might see like a whole team gravitate to it, like when Team Poland did. What was that, like LA? They showed up with Katsu in like the Lexi meta.
Yeah,
I could see something like that happen where like, a big group does it and then it performs.
It's also possible I'm overselling it, and once you sit down and play enough of it, it's just like doesn't happen often enough. That that is
consistency
possible.
is the concern. I think it's for sure in the B to S range, but it is unproven.
It would be a hot take, I think, to put it in a day. What were you going to say, Fino?
I could see one of the blue pitch guys also on it.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised. The deck's just good.
I'm looking at what I'm assuming is the list that you're messing around with right now. And this looks impressive.
Yeah. It's just that Retrace names everything in your deck, even Edge of Autumn. It's just like
crazy.
It's so hard to play the lines in the deck. It's just, I don't know, the deck's great. You should, if you're not playing Katsu, you should play some Katsu.
My worry would be I'm not good enough because it's like the deck's hard to play, and then also it's like a deck building kind of nightmare too. And it's like, am I smart enough to do both those things 100% correctly? I don't know. But
We
if you
always have
figure that
one-
out,
Always have one hot take in the tier list. It could be Katsu.
I'm fine with that.
Katsu performs, we for sure need to do a Metafy article, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think
counter
that's
out.
sick. Okay, Kano, where's the stupid deck?
Let's just go through the matchups, right? Slippy's like
It's actually bad.
Range is like good to bad, depending on
Yeah.
how much AB spell void they bring. If they bring all three, it's bad. Verdance is very good, right? Gravy's very good. Mario's like unplayable. If they bring spell void
Kats.
3, AB3. Katsu should
Kat-
be like similar to Syndra.
It should be bad, yeah. Syndra should be bad.
Oh, I don't think they're bad. I think they're good.
I don't think they're good. I think they're just flip a coin, see if you get there.
Yeah. I think you get there more than you don't, but it's not significant. It's not comfortable. We'll just say that.
Smush Warrior.
Warriors are all free. Dio's
Florian's
probably kind of tight. Florian's free. Yeah, he's like B tier, I think.
Yeah.
Like counter meta pick.
Yeah.
A lot of the decks are
It's just
just
the
try to
assassins,
counter
like-
the meta.
If they didn't have that equipment, I would slam Kano in like A or S tier, but AB plus spell void on the same equipment in L4 or 3 slots is just it's a lot to deal with on these decks that make it a 3 to 4 turn game and disrupt you.
Agreed. I'm fine with putting Kano at B tier. That makes sense to me. His results have not been great, and most Kano players have stopped playing him, so I can just kind of trust that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
With the
We're
deck.
also missing a potential pillar of the meta in Prism.
When you talk about Prism now, where do you think Prism
Those
goes?
decks Sucks.
Agreed. The meta is like really hostile for this deck right now. Everyone's just like 7 poppers, 7 poppers,
Yeah,
7
like-
poppers.
Yeah. Every
This
deck is
deck's-
playing at least 3
This deck
7.
sucks ass, and everyone just collectively at the same time decided I'm going to respect Prism for some reason. Just,
Which is the
like,
decks that are
putting up-
being played, like the assassins, for example. You turn it from like a 30 to 40%er to like 80% by just playing
It's
3
just like
7s.
putting up no results, and everyone's just like 7s. Okay.
I think we all just started there with like the builds for this meta, and they just never took them out.
If I gave this to Fino, he'd put in don't play.
It might be a Kano situation where, like, for the Pro Tour, it's like, no, you can't play Prism because everyone plays Poppers, so then you cut your Poppers.
Yeah.
And then you play Prism.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's a B tier. It's anti popper. It's just hoping you run to people who without poppers is essentially how
Yeah.
this deck functions. It's anti meta in the same way, but it's just hoping that their deck builds don't have 7s in them. But it's probably like way up here.
She's
I
like,
like all
we
these
said,
B tier glass cannon heroes. I like the Prism. I like the Dio, Kano, Acilio. It's like I'm a blast you with something big. I don't know which one I'm picking yet, but we're popping off. We're gonna try to at least.
It's always the please
Yeah.
don't play tier for events that we're going to. That's where those guys go.
yeah, please don't play Poppers.
Please don't. The please don't tier? Is that what we just name? Please don't.
Oh wait, get rid of the C tier and do that for now on.
A please don't tier?
Yeah,
Makes sense. Jarl?
bro, imagine playing Guardian. What a meme.
Yeah, I think Jarl just goes and don't play.
Yeah, I also think he's don't play.
Should we
I just like,
no elaborate. Move on to
It does-
Riptide. Talk for 30 minutes about Riptide instead.
Okay. These 4 heroes all beat it. Don't
Yep.
tier. The
Okay.
assassins, Verdance, and even Gravy beats it. Even
Like-
if you blow up the compass, they just tip the barkeep and just beat you anyway.
Like, the only reason to play this deck is to blow up Compass in my mind. Like, I see no other reason in the meta to play this deck. And then the Gravies have just went, oh, I'm just not going to lose to that.
I'm going to tip the barkeep and I'll pretend I have a compass. Oh, look, I have all these go again attacks, though. It's fine. The reason to play this is so you can play Blizzard into Syndra. That's
Yeah, I think there might be like a fatigue angle for the Arachnes, but I
now.
wouldn't count on that.
Let's talk about Victor, the horse. I kind of think it's B tier. I kind of think it's playable as
Yeah.
like an anti-meta pick.
Mm.
Because I kind of like it into assassins,
Oh, really?
like into like Slippy. I like it into Slippy. To be fair, Mario
That's
not
fair.
as much, but I do
Yeah.
like it into Slippy.
I can buy that.
You're good into Syndra.
You're good into Syndra. You're good into Slippy. I mean, you just roll over and die to Gravy, but you can beat it. I've seen them beat it. I have seen this matchup be
Spinal
beat.
Crush is very, very good.
Yep, some of their
in
big
that matchup.
attacks are very good. Some of them are running like go again packages that end up paying off. This matchup used to notoriously actually be kind of difficult for Warrior. I could still see it being that way against like a good Victor.
I don't know with the gem now, because I
Oh,
was
yeah,
always
with-
going to get an army. It's like
with-
pretty trivial, right?
No, but they have Goldmane Estate now. They didn't have Goldmane Estate last time we were playing that matchup.
Yeah, that's
Victor's
fair.
also starting to play performance bonus for Gravy.
Wait, but Cody, what if the Kasai just blocks after the Goldmane Estate turn? Have you considered this?
I have.
That doesn't
They
really
have
have
more
any
gold
action.
mains.
Yeah, but you just use the block. Like fatigue's not an issue because gold is so easy to get.
True. I don't know. That's for them to figure out, not me.
That's fair.
I'm not playing either of those matchups. No, it was always playable. It was like a skill matchup, but it was difficult, is how it was. I could see it probably still being in that range. I actually think Victor's like kind of okay.
Wait, can we get back to C tier and change it to the Chris Iali will play this tier?
No, we'll have one fat B tier. Okay.
Yeah,
what
if
about
Victor's
Riptide?
going to Slippy, I agree.
I think it's playable.
Mhm.
It's almost, what about Riptide? I have no idea on this hero.
Yeah, his range is the whole chart for me. I think like going back to that like fatigue style Riptide, or just like block your cards, so your 2-card 7 value plays. I think that's probably pretty strong against Assassin.
Can we get the question mark tier?
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably a build that puts Riptide in like A or B tier.
Yeah, I just don't believe in this hero. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone else figure that out. I don't believe.
Riptide's it's a scary one to play against at the PT because you're like they could have anything in their deck, dude. And their deck could be any combination of lethal cards,
Yep.
and I would believe it. Like
I think Gravy's the question mark because like both Arachnes, Katsu, and Syndra, I think you can all kind of address with like that defensive package.
Yeah.
And it might be pretty good because all of your traps are live in all these matchups.
It
I
seems
could see that
pretty
coming out.
difficult into Gravy, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just we're sacking that and we're just targeting those 4 and then we're all in on that strat. I don't know.
You probably also sack Verdance, right?
I don't see it
Probably.
being good into Verdance either. Personally.
Yeah, the other way is we're just all out aggro and now we're targeting Verdance and Gravy, and I can't imagine the Assassins are good, but maybe because all of your traps are live.
But like, Azalea didn't beat Gravy. Like, what's Riptide doing, going aggro into that matchup that she can't do?
Typically, it can go a little wider if it's playing aggro, so it can actually like clear and then try and hit you in the mouth. But I'm not sold on that as a real thing. I'm just throwing out the idea.
But the Azaleas were already doing the go wide thing. They were already doing the New Horizons shit.
yeah,
That already didn't work.
yeah, I'm not sold. I don't think it's.
He
good
feels
into
like
Gravy.
Ven Seti to me. Like you're just targeting the aggro decks.
Like, I think if you're playing this, it's because you're doing something like what Pablo did at that one Pro Tour, and you're just like playing this like ignorant blocking deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to as well. Like
But-
that's probably pretty strong against those 4 decks, and we have them as 4 of the top 6 decks. So
Sure.
maybe he's B
I-
tier.
Okay, he's B tier for all the Riptide lovers out there. There you go.
All
It's
one
been
of them.
convinced. Now, looking at this, do we want to move anything?
Yeah, Gravy to S.
yeah, Gravy to S. Give me Gravy and S.
Dude, I think Mario's top of S. Now that we talked about all this.
Give me
You-
Gravy and S, and give me Syndra and A. And I kind
Katsu's
of like the
stressing
way
me
it
out a
looks.
little bit.
I think I actually agree with that. Like the moving up the couple guys, but then I would say Syndra's probably like a step ahead of most of B.
So you want to move this up and this up? This is what you want it to look like?
I think
No.
I
Why? What don't you like 10?
I don't like Mario being next to these like unplayable ninjas.
Wait, this is why everyone likes the meta, because it's like
Yeah.
a handful of actual good decks and then a bunch of like flip coin decks.
Yeah, I think that like it's pretty small, your actual decision of what you play here. Like, I think I don't think it's a case of you're either playing an S deck or you're a clown. I think if you pick any deck here that you think is a very good, like you sat down, and you went, no, 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 no. I got the matchup spread down. I have my game plans down. I know I have something here. With any of the decks in the B tier or A tier or S tier, I'd go, okay, yeah, I sure. You think you got something? Go for it. You're not a fool for bringing these decks, except maybe Riptide.
Yeah, playing
one of,
Riptide
like-
is definitely a trap. That's a trap for sure. Playing Riptide.
If a subsect of people told me they were playing Riptide, then I'd go, okay, I believe you.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Well-
I think I draw the line at Syndra.
Yeah.
I think the rest is just like dark horse tier to me.
It's kind of how this feels. We could have another tier. I don't know. This looks close to what it feels like in my mind. We could move a couple things around. Like Gravy could go to S if we wanted, depending on how much stuff is actually played. Syndra could go up again, depending on how much things are played. So we can argue that either way. This kind of is what it feels like for me going into the tournament. You have the really powerful things that are just generally good. And then you have a bunch of things that are just good if you flip the right coin. And you're hoping that you just don't see the bad side of your variants or whatever your bad matchups are. And for me, those are like all in the B tier. So it might look a little weird. Like this is not like how normal our tier lists look, but it's kind of just how the meta is. And I think that's why people like it, is because like you're just not a fool for playing all of these other decks down here. You're just hoping it runs well for you on that day. And sometimes it does, and you win the tournament.
Now, I will say, like, a lot of times when the game goes that direction, then it turns into kind of gem roulette. Because it's just like, you can't actually prep for the event properly because you could just face literally anything. So you can't, like, dedicate proper sideboarding to anything. You're just kind of choosing what you're going to beat, choosing what you're going to lose to, and just, like, hoping you get the right matchups. But a lot of the matchups don't necessarily feel like that. A lot of them feel like games, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the big difference here is these aren't 90-10 matchups. That's what we were complaining about the whole time. I'm fine with having matchups like this that are just like that it can
I have
be
a
a whole
shot.
bunch of different decks. Yeah, but when you sit down and you play the game, you play the game. You're just not like immediately out of it because you hit the wrong
Or-
matchup.
Or it's, I'm behind, but I have a better game plan and I've played more games of this matchup than you, so I have an advantage.
Yeah,
Like, I always prefer the I can just out game plan my opponent type of metas.
Yeah, I do feel like the Kasai players pull that off quite often. You'll see where they're just like, I've played this matchup so many more times than you do, and I have these other options. I'm going to pull it off. Like, I would not be surprised if a Kasai does well.
It's always the same spot. It's bluff, attack, react at the end. They overblock, you set, you win the game.
But it's also like how to use your actual power cards and when you need to
That's fair.
versus
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to just play it's like the actual game plan, right? Like part
Agreed.
of the game. Cool. Anything else on this before we go to podcast questions?
Can we do a recap?
Sure. In our S tier, we have Slippy, and we also have Verdance. In our A tier, we have Gravy, who could also be S. Some of us disagree on that. And then we have Mario in A tier, and then the dark horse pick of Katsu in A tier. Mainly just I forced him up there. And then B, we have all of the decks that just have other stuff that they don't want to see or happen or run into. And that's just like B is Syndra, Kasai, Dory, Prism, Dash IO, Florian, Acilio, Ira, Vincent, Kano, Victor, and Riptide in our B tier. And then everything else is don't play. Okay, let's move over to our podcast questions. These are asked by premium members of our Metafy. If you would like to join our Metafy, be able to ask questions on the podcast, get your 3 free deck lists that we're putting out every single month as a Gilded member, or also get your discount for Gilded Raven Games, feel free to join in the link below. First question here is going to be from Mr. Ark. Who would win in a fight, Noah Bagelman or Noah Kagel? It's Bagel TCG. No idea. There's no Noah here.
Noah's
No
pretty
one-
big. He's pretty tall.
I don't know. I think
Okay, so
neither
if we
of them
were
would win.
If we were spreadsheeting this, and like this was just like a raw, just like we just looked at their stats as players thing, I think I'd put my money on Noah Bagel. But I think IRL, he would like trip and fall entering the fight, and just like instantly hold the L and just like get unlucky and lose.
I think I'm assuming they're both not trained, so they're probably just going to see some wild swings and then they're going to fall on the ground together. So that's how most untrained fights happen.
I kind of want to fight Noah, and then we'd be like two shinobi just locked in combat for eons. Because we're the exact same power level.
Noah versus Noah. First Noah. Perfect. Millen asks, if you could unban any card or make any specialization for LL hero legal for others, which one would it be?
Give me high octane
Luminaris.
back.
What was that?
Luminaris.
Luminaris.
Give me back my deck.
I'd like you to unban Chain, the hero.
I almost said
Oh, that was an
Prism.
option? I got lost at the end of that. Also Chain. If not Chain, then Belittle.
I
No,
was
I
going
think
to say
they want an
Prism.
actual card, but
I was going
Belittle.
to say Prism, but then I was like, no. It's just a weapon. I'm fine playing the Luminaris with new Prism. That deck's super fun to play.
Is Soul
there
Reaping
aren't-
cool? Does Soul Reaping do anything for Vincent or anything?
not really. Like at most you get like 2 in the grave, but
Mhm.
then you have that's like a weird hand.
Good against Prism.
Sure.
I think I'm happy with everything on the BNR.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I want.
like the BNR as well.
Yeah, I have no. There's nothing I want back that's currently banned. Personally. Christos Z asks, who do you think amongst you has the best answers with facts and examples, and why is it Noah?
He just looks good because he's always answers following Lucas.
Wait, like in general or answers to the last question?
No, just in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Noah's thing is like having good takes. That's not really fair.
I agree with Fino. If you go after Lucas, you always look better.
True. I don't know, man.
his
I've
take is
gotten
always
feedback
poking
that
holes in
Lucas is
Lucas.
normally correct, and the rest of us are wrong.
Sure. There's like one guy. One guy says Lucas is correct, just very loudly from a mountain.
I think that's just the nature of card games. Yeah.
True.
Oh my god, there's the guy that last week that said that something about Lucas being a guest on the cast. Lucas is like, what the heck? How are you gonna call me a guest?
I've never seen anything bother Lucas as much as being called a guest.
That's fair.
Ham
I
asks,
think my predictions
Magic.
are usually pretty strong, but everyone thinks that
I think they're pretty good.
themselves.
Magic. Ham asks, Magic has the Power 9. What cards would make the Power 9 of Flesh and Blood?
Command and Conquer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Enlighten
it's usually
Strike.
has to be like the first 3 sets. It's the first 3 gems.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do it that way, I guess, but they're not
a lot of
necessarily
ways to
played
do
in
it.
every deck.
Oh, you want like played cards? Sink below.
Yeah,
just
that's a
don't think there's
boring
a
one
good-
though.
I just don't think there's a good comparison.
3 of a
It's like-
kind. It's like the same card.
Like, is this a rarity of card thing, or is this how busted the card is?
I
And
think
then-
I think it's like
Iconic.
this is a very personal question. I don't think it's like a agreed on thing. Like,
It-
what is your power 9?
Because
Might not be the same as mine, right?
If we're gonna go by just power level, I think we just pull up the BNR of banning all the books and just call that the Power 9.
Yeah.
That kind of did have the Power 9 feel. Like when they hit like Art of War and all of them. Toma Firebrand sneaking in there, just like Time Twister did with the Power 9. And you're like, what are you doing here? They're like, I swear I'm busted, honest. I'm really broken.
I
The
did some
book
messed
9.
up things with that card.
Stump asks, what bad deck do you guys lose to most often?
Dawnblade Dory. They just always have the Twinning Blade every single time.
Bro, you suck.
I just
Fang?
well,
Yeah, I'm way past that. I was gonna say Katsu.
I play
That's,
Mech,
like, not
which
lately,
has no
though.
D-Reacts. So Dawnblade Dory, when you have no D-Reacts, Dawnblade Dory is a nightmare.
Hmm.
Any
Fang.
brute. Any brute.
I lose
They
to
just,
Fang way too often.
Anytime I face a brute, they just start losing and then just start ignorantly rolling scabs and hit like 7 turns in a row, and I'm like, okay, cool game.
All I could think about is Amsterdam.
That's
Every time you talk about brute.
Two Pro Tours that's happened to me. I'm like ahead, and then they just roll scabs every turn of the game. Oh, I could choose E-Strike for go again, or I could roll scabs and choose +2 instead. It's just like, okay, like, come on, what are we doing here? I've had two
Paratus?
win-in-ins where that's happened.
Paratus Omnia asks, what do you think is the future of Living Legend in 2 years? Will it become the major format? What do you think of the cards specifically printed for LL, like the Briar one?
I think the future is a ton of work on the development front to curate and balance this format. And I hope it leads to good things.
I think given the current trend, if things just continued as is, it would be a format that we basically only pay attention to when LSS tells us we are forced to pay attention to it. But things could change. Like, the community could just decide that we like this format a lot now, and just LSS just is kind of forced to listen to us, or LSS decides that they want to push that really hard, so they start making a ton of stuff for it, and then people just default to, this is my favorite format now, which I would like. I would love if LL was like one of the main formats of the game. Just as it currently is trending, it's just not.
Agreed.
I
just think
could
LSS
see-
is. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I did see like a almost like legacy for Magic, where it's like a very like grassroots supported thing, where kind of like all the boomers come out to play. Like in 10 years when we all kind of don't play as much, but you're like, oh, I can dust off my old chain deck, let's go, or whatever.
That's what I was saying.
Like-
Like the community could just, for some reason, latch onto it and decide this is the format now, and then they're just like, I guess we have to listen to you because the money's here. We just have to support this format now because we're losing money.
I mean, the format
just
kind of survives without support, though, which I think is good too. Like if they don't like target it with new products or new anything, but they just still have people play it for a reason, I think it'll still gain popularity pretty well.
Well, it would be like the Magic thing where people just aren't engaging with like Standard or something as much, so the money is just moving away from that format, and then they decide, oh, we just have to support this format now because we're just losing money by no one buying product. So they just decide to support the format now, make product for it, so do events for it, and then start getting that money in again.
I think LSS is like highly incentivized to support this format, though. Like they need this for their game to work. Like this is their failsafe for when these beloved heroes go away.
It's
Like they
also
need this place for people to play them.
It's also the failsafe that Magic has, which is this is like one of the best parts about Magic, and which has stopped it from failing over the time. When a format in Magic sucks, you just go play a different format. You're just like, oh man, Standard blows right now. I'll just go play Modern. Oh, Modern's terrible because Modern Horizons. I'll just go play Commander. Oh, my Commander group just doesn't want to get together right now. I guess I'll just go draft. Oh, I don't like the draft set. I'll just go play on Arena. There's just so many ways to engage with the hobby. For FAB, it really feels like there's just a one way for a lot of places because you can't really actually get drafts everywhere.
Yeah. And I don't know how much it matters right now, but like imagine buying a box of Path of Mistfell. Like why would you do that?
I have a lot to say on the LL matter because what they sold us as LL no longer exists. They have completely changed what LL was. LL was a home for the rest of your cards. That was like a kind of fun, not really that competitive, but like we might do like callings and stuff as like a fun tribute, and then you have like skirmishes as like a fun tribute to like these powerful cards. And it was kind of a degenerate format that we might like limit some cards so it's not like so it's the match so it's actually playable. But with the current changes, they have made it part of Worlds. So now it is a actual real format of the game. It is not like a for fun format anymore. It is a competitive, very important part of the game. They've also banned cards out of the Eternal format where your cards that got banned were supposed to be played. So it is no longer that format. It is just a different format that we've reintroduced all the powerful cards again. I don't know what this format is. I don't know what the purpose of this format is, because before it was to just put all the banned stuff in, and then we're going to just limit things down. But now it's just, we're also banning things here now. So what is this format? Like, is it do-over number 2 for the things that LL'd? Like, is that what it is? Like, it's not a real LL format. It's just like, do you want to play these heroes that are from 2 years ago that you never had a chance because you just joined the game? Well, now you can. Like, I don't know what this format is. I don't understand.
Yeah, so I was getting at with like the work required to make this a thing. Like, I don't know what the identity of the format is right now either. Yeah, I think Cody explained well. It's just a new format that is a part of competitive play now that they did one balance for, and there's no events leading up. We'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know.
But then they
I
might
think
just drop it after Worlds, and then we just go back to not having to care about it again.
They can't,
like,
though. I don't think they can, to, like, for the future of the game, do that.
That
Unless
doesn't
they're
mean they
dropping
won't.
it so they can, like, recreate it better.
And then they'll work on fucking whatever the new weird format is instead. The new Popper 3.0 type of thing. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. What do I do with my carrion husks? They're banned.
You play
And-
Levia, man.
I guess I can play it in CC, but what do you do with Crown of Seeds? That card is just gone. Just rip it in half. It's gone.
that's Power 9.
Yeah, Crown of Seeds. Crown of Seeds is definitely Power 9. But that's what I mean. It was supposed to be a home for these cards. That was all it was. It was just like a waiting zone for these cards that we wheel out and play. And now it's a competitive format that just has more heroes in it. It's just like the format that has the ban list and more heroes in it. I don't understand.
I do think it's important that this format is part of competitive play, though, for it to, like, succeed and work.
Agreed.
It's just, to answer the question, what my hope is in 2 years is that they put in the work and make this a good format and make it make sense. I think for
Yeah.
Worlds, I don't see this working out super well. It'll be what it is, but
We're just all playing Starvo. They're releasing 2 additional Guardian sets, and then they're gonna just be like, everyone's just playing Starvo, and everyone's aware of it. Like I'm not letting some secret out. Everyone I've ever talked to, from people at my locals to random other people that I've run into, are all just like, we're all playing Starvo, right? Like it's just 100% Starvo players because they're releasing 2 Guardian sets. Yep, more than likely. So I don't know. We'll see. I can't play my hero. They just banned everything, so I don't know what to do. But I would like to. I hope that the format is good eventually. I just don't understand what its purpose is if we're going to ban cards from it, because that's kind of a big deal, in my opinion.
I will say though, I enjoy LL more than Blitz. I'll take this over Blitz
Yeah,
as
for
like
sure.
a Worlds format, or whatever. I think it's like a better experience and just better for the game overall.
It's super fun.
Yeah, and then have Blitz be replaced by Project Blue, or whatever. Because I think Project Blue's gonna be gas. I think Project Blue's gonna be really good.
To be fair, before they did all of this, I loved the format. So I'm a little biased because they
yes.
killed my deck. So I understand, but like at the same time, they also banned cards from the game.
But I was saying before too, like Project Blue. It's like, are they gonna pick a format and get to the point where it needs to be? Don't have your foot in 2 different things, and neither of them actually amount to anything, and no one plays either.
Well,
Like,
I think
no. Get LL to the point it needs to be, or get Project Blue to the point that it needs to be. Pick one. You.
Well,
which I think they're
If-
doing.
But they weren't. They were working on Project Blue, and they're doing all that stuff with that, and now they're working on LL.
Well, I think
Are they
Project
gonna
Blue
switch
isn't
back
really
to Project
launched
Blue
yet.
afterwards? Are they going to switch back to Project Blue after Worlds?
I don't know their operating model, but I assume they have, like, teams that do different things.
Well, and I think they haven't really launched Project Blue yet either. Like, if you notice, it's not on Talishar as a format, and I think that's like kind of deliberate because they're like, okay, we want people to be aware of this thing and think about it, but we don't want people to like be solving it yet. So I could see like your skirmish season next spring is Project Blue or whatever, and that'll be like the real like launch of the format, and they'll, I don't know, maybe do like a $10 armory deck for it would be sick or something like that. But
And so then LL's still in limbo at that point?
no, I think you should just then LL is like skirmish season number 2 or whatever, and kind of just bounce back between those two.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying they need
Project
to get
Blue
LL
was
to,
just like a.
they need to get LL to the point that it's a format that every Flesh and Blood player has an LL deck in their bag. Every player should have an LL deck. Like,
Agreed. And I think they're setting that priority by including this in Worlds, right? Like, they're clearly setting the message that they want that to be the case. Like, this should be important, but
they need to.
I don't
continue that,
understand how we're doing this with no lead up of competitive events to test the format. That's the only issue I currently have. But I agree with you. Future facing, it just needs to be a thing.
I think we all agree on that. I'm assuming we're gonna have some callings with that next year because they've talked about how we're having more callings we've ever had basically in the US. So I would expect some of them to be LL. But we'll see. Skabichi says, what would it take for Guardian to have a fighting chance in the current meta? So far, there has been a few spoilers for Mastery Pack, and what has been revealed doesn't seem to solve their problems. He wants a strong dose of opium. There
Being
are
able to
2
reveal
sets coming
ice,
out.
earth, and lightning.
I was gonna say Winter's Whale. One Winter's Whale.
I think the new shield is good too. The seismic surge shield, I think, is really good.
I have not seen this.
It's in like the mastery pack.
Dude, they're going to get
Maybe,
2
like-
sets. It'll be playable.
Maybe
Mhm.
modular cards would do it. Like 3 cost 7 attack that you can pitch 3 more to make it a 10.
Mm.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think they are going to rework Guardian to some aspect with the 2 new Guardians that are coming out. They're going to play
Right,
an
big
access
time.
that we haven't seen before, which I think is good because Guardian needs that. But then at the same time, just more cards. They just need more things to do, more cards, more go. They really need more go again, or more ways to get more value out of their cards. But the meta's just not that right now, and you should. For most people, you should be a little happy. When Guardian is the best deck in the game, it's usually a kind of a problem, like a rather big problem, because it wins every matchup automatically with the way that it used to work. Like it was just like it wins like 90% of the time if played correctly, if it already wins the matchup. But if these 2 new Guardians work and they can make Guardian into different styles, then I think it's overall better for people who like playing Guardian.
Yeah, I think the reason why Guardian, like you're saying, is like bad for the game, or not bad for the game, but when it's good, the meta kind of sucks. Is like it's so consistent, but it trades off power level. But then if the power level is high enough and it is super consistent, it's just like it's just better than everything else. Then it just ends up being too good.
Cootie asks, what holds Phi back when Syndra is strong?
Syndra. Syndra. It's really consistency, right? Like Syndra's able to operate on this like red line build, and you have the chest to bail you out when you need resources. Fi doesn't have daggers that you can flick. I think that's honestly the big difference. Fi is not powerful enough to deal with his like lack of consistency, is what I would say.
Yeah, the combo of flick knives and then blood splattered vest is tough to keep up with, I think.
King of Mice asks, people keep saying that High Seas is the Gravy Bone set. What is stopping Marilyn or Puffin from being good? Could a meta shift make them good?
An armory deck.
To be fair, Marlin might be more playable now that Azalea's gone. It was literally unplayable when Azalea was actually being played because you just lost that matchup every time. So it could be more playable now, but I'm not really sold on that. I think the deck's kind of bad. I hope Puffin's good. I love Puffin. I really like that deck. I want it to be good. I think it's just a meta issue of why it's not good right now. It's just like aggro deck number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I think the big difference between, like, without being facetious of just saying armory deck, these decks don't have the tipple that like really ties together the deck. Like they can play tipple, but it's not nearly as good. They're not just like getting a free card whenever they play tipple. They have to put real cards in their deck to discard to it, and then that requires them playing yellows to discard to it, which they like really don't want to be playing. And the few yellows they do play are the cards that they don't want to discard to tipple necessarily. So they don't like get to do the thing with their hero power all the time. So then it's just like, well, what are we doing here? And they don't get to just like free roll hook constantly because they're not just like making gold every turn. So their ability to make the funny tokens just isn't as good as gravy.
I agree. They need the macro. They both have like powerful cards and powerful plays, but yeah, I think you hit it spot on. Like they don't have that consistency piece with their hero power. Yeah.
And Puffin is asking for your opponent to play the game with you. And so like that's the main issue with Puffin is that at least the current way that people are playing it is that like if they take a turn off and your stuff like your golden cogs expire and you don't have a great way to remake them because the way you're going to remake them was with blocking with your cards, and like you literally just like lose the game on the spot.
You're
It's like
supposed to remake
stupid.
them with gold.
True. But you need to make like more of them.
But how do we make gold?
but you need to make more than just that one. Like typically you need like 3 or so. And what happens is like, oh, I'm going to block with this card. It's going to make this another one. And then I'm going to use this to make another one. Then I'll draw it. But you just can't do that because they didn't attack you. And like the fact that the deck is reliant on your opponent also like nudge, nudge, wink, wink, play the game with me. Please hit me here. Like, please attack me so I can play the game. Like feels kind of bad. Now you might be able to build it with like a different way, but that's currently the issue I see with Puffin. Rinzo asks, who will win PT, hero and player? If you choose a Runaways player, give a second non-Runaways one.
I'm gonna get for Runaways. For Runaways players, give me Naib and whatever pile of cards he shows up with. No idea what heroes he's playing, but give me Naib.
I think I'm backing Lucas, man. I think Vernus is just so good, and he's been way ahead of it.
I would
but
not
outside
be surprised.
Runaways, it's whoever is brave enough to bring Mario. All of them will win.
Easy money picks Pablo, right?
Yeah. if you're a gambling man, he's got the best odds.
I don't know, something I wouldn't have picked this for the last couple of ones. So outside of like people on our team, I'm just gonna pick someone not on our team. But like this kind of feels like a Michael Fang Hamilton-esque win for me. They're assuming they're playing Gravy. They've been putting a lot of time into it. When I see them like play the deck, they're like, they feel ahead of most people that I see that are playing the deck. The draft format is incredibly deep and skillful, which I think will let people navigate out of that. And there are two players who in the past I've seen them take decks, ride it on like a razor's edge through matchups that people think are probably bad, and like but they get out there. And you can see that in like the Battle Harden that they played in, and like Michael Fang just beats the Syndra. And then, they play like a really tight mirror that I don't know how Michael Fang lost. Then he like suddenly lost because of like a draw. And it's like, but if everything hadn't been played perfectly or been played well beforehand, then he probably could have, navigated out of that. So I think those two players in my mind for this tournament have like a really good shot.
I think that's a good call. With the like contingency that Hamilton has actually been playing Flesh and Blood.
It feels like
he's been like traveling to a lot of events. Yeah. If he's out of practice, he'll just top 8 and not win. If he's practiced, I think that's a good pick to win as well.
I also think Michael Fang's in like a really good spot.
He seems really locked in with this deck.
Yeah, he seems really locked in with the deck, and then the draft format is just like really skillful.
Yeah,
so.
like I think it's by far the most agency that there's been in a draft set for this game ever. It's like not close.
Yep. Big Hungry asks, you wake up tomorrow and Flesh and Blood is gone. Do you have another game that you would gravitate to, or are you done with TCGs?
Never done. Magic, that's absurd.
No, not Magic, Fino.
The Magic appeal is that like you.
I'm a Commander player.
That makes sense. I think the Magic appeal is that you can like play every day. You can play at any of your many local game stores, but
also
every time I play Magic, I just never want to play Magic again. I would probably play Pokemon.
We're in the middle of the Final Fantasy thing
or
too
some
right
new
now.
game.
True.
Fucking love Final Fantasy.
I've been dipping my toes back into Magic too lately. I've been playing a lot of Magic online, and the whole time I'm like, I'm so excited to play high stakes tournaments online, and then I'm like, but Magic is so much worse than Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
I'm always playing TCGs. I'm playing TCGs for the rest of my life. That's my goal. Yeah. Like I've been playing TCGs my whole life.
Oh wait,
I will continue to play TCGs my whole life. That's what I was gonna say. My next game, I'm gonna play Riftbound irregardless of what happens, pretty much. So if Flesh and Blood dies, then I'm playing Riftbound, at least for like a little bit. And I still have to play Vibes. I have to go to Worlds next year for Vibes anyway. So
I was about to ask you, vibe rating.
That's tough.
There's like a new set. I haven't touched it at all. I'm like, I will deal with this like a month before Worlds. But
whatever the best game is at the time.
Whatever the new Bandai game is for one event.
Yeah. Play the Bandai game. Always buy into the first set of the Bandai game and then hold it for like a year or two and then sell it, and it's like worth like 10 times what you paid for it. That's just Bandai.
I've been having an itch to play Pokemon though. I want the Zen vibes back. Search my deck every turn.
Sounds good. Well, it's been a long one. Hope you guys have held in there and seen our crazy tier list. Hopefully I get this out. Who knows? I got to edit this thing. I'm not doing it tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. So if you see this, awesome. But goodbye, everybody. Let's